we are with Prabhdeep ji. He is from MCA Gulf. He's a director working here, and more about him.
So, my name is Prabhdeep Singh Baweja. I am a chartered accountant from the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. I am living here in UAE for the past more than 17 years, since September 2007. So, this is my 18th year in UAE. And I have worked in multiple roles over the past 18 years of time. I have a small family. My wife and daughter lives with me here. My mom is currently based in India, Dehradun.
First of all, I wanted to start off your journey. How was your experience so far living and working in UAE as a finance professional?
So the experience has been very good because I came here almost as a fresh professional. I only worked for 6 months in India and then I moved here. So the experience was very different, considering UAE is considered to be a global market. Right? It's at the center where it connects Asia and Africa, Europe. And the experiences I got, the people I got connected to, the learnings I got with regard to the international standards. So that made the experiences very broad. And when we look it from holistical a point of view, it is very good. It has been very nice. A lot of learnings and experience.
Great. Okay, so we'll move to the next question. But prior to that, wanted to understand, do you think it's requisite to have an experience, UAE experience is a must before you even think of coming in here, because the fresher may not get a chance?
No, actually, the freshers are the ones who get most of the opportunities. So when I came here as a fresher, that's what made it easier for me to get into the market.
Okay.
Because as we get on with our experiences, and if the experiences do not align with the demand in the country, then the challenges will be much higher. So in fact, I would say it's more of a market for freshers to come here.
Okay.
And there is one catch to it, which further may come up. If it doesn't come up, I will take that.
All right. Okay. So, what inspired you to start helping other finance professionals seeking jobs in UAE? Was it based on your own challenge or something which triggered you to do so?
Yeah, if you look into my career history, as I said, I worked with multiple organizations. Almost a decade I have spent in a role which was connected to the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. I had gone into that role considering I'll serve in that role for 2 years, but it got extended to 8.5 years. So when I was in that role as a regional director for Middle East and Africa, employment opportunities for our members in Middle East Africa was an important responsibility in that job. So to extend it formally, the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India came up with overseas campus, which was open for all professionals, not only for freshers. So in 2018 it was done, in 2019 it was done. Then it didn't happen for 3-4 years due to COVID and other challenges, and there were a lot of challenges to make it successful. And when it was planned again in the year 2022 end, it was we had got 36 companies, 200 vacancies, and but many of the organizations' vacancies were not being able to filled in that through that campus, because the alignment of the candidates and the organizations didn't happen. So there were a lot of organizations who were not able to fill, and they were behind me to help them find the candidates. And that's when I started posting the opportunities on LinkedIn. Though I had been working in ICI and had been doing through different ways, but I had never posted that on LinkedIn. So that continued for 2023-24 when I was employed with ICI. And then When I was leaving the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, I had given my notice in October 2023 that I want to leave within 3 months, but I couldn't exit until my visa expired in September 2024. So until that time, I was doing that. And when I was coming out, I was thinking that, how I can continue doing this, because this is something which helps so many professionals. And that's when I started creating WhatsApp groups, and more than 12,000 people through a WhatsApp group, through a channel, are connected now. And to continue what I was doing through LinkedIn, which was not possible now, because on LinkedIn, when I was doing it, uh, my office team was involved in it. The CVs were only received of Indian Chartered Accountants and were processed through our office email IDs, right? Shared. So then, how I could do this without much of a time, that's how I created the WhatsApp group and continued with that. So it was not because of my challenges, because I came here as a fresher. So it was all because of how I got into this due to my role at the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, and to maintain that continuity so that it helped professionals.
Okay, so maybe God had sent you for that, helping others.
No, I'm not sure how much I have been able to help, but I try my best to help spread it as much as possible.
So around, I guess you have like 10 WhatsApp groups.
Yeah, I have 9 WhatsApp groups and one channel, WhatsApp channel, where 4,000 professionals are connected. So around 13,000, I think, have been connected.
So that we do much.
And it's not only Indian Chartered Accountants. It's open WhatsApp group, right? So hey, it may be other qualification and from other countries also. But mostly it's Indian Chartered Accountants. Maybe 70% are the Indian Chartered Accountants.
So while you were posting job opportunities, and then also, the people who are the employers looking for a right candidate, candidates generally, they complain that, we're not getting job. I mean, because there are a lot of things that, like, as you mentioned, there are 13,000 people involved in that group. And you also find that there's an employers who are looking for a right candidate. They're not able to, see the requisite qualifications or skills are there, or the set of experience they're looking for. They may be looking for a UAE experience. They're looking for something in taxation specialization or something. So do you think that there is a gap because the candidates are not able to find the correct employer, or there's other way around?
Yeah, certainly there's a gap, and I had said that there's a catch involved in it. And when I said that it's a freshers market, right? So if we see UAE until before the taxation came in, the opportunities for experienced candidates which were coming in between were very less. But when the new taxes have been introduced, new compliances have been introduced in the UAE market, which has been evolving, then the opportunities for experienced candidates at certain period of time have significantly gone up, because that used to be the time when the country here, the organizations here were looking for experienced people from the other markets.
Okay.
Right? So when the VAT was introduced, the initial set of experiences may have came from India, Pakistan, or other Malaysia, from wherever, the VAT had been other European countries, Australia. So then when the corporate tax was introduced, the capabilities of transfer pricing was required, the understanding of direct taxes, corporate taxes was required. So many professionals from India got that opportunity in the initial years when there was an implementation of a tax. But what happens is that when the market has started to become mature in that segment, then the opportunities for professionals from other countries will reduce, because then the expectations of the organizations would be to get someone who already has the experience in that market. So therefore, the corporate tax transfer pricing opportunities are very high until 2 years, 3 years back, but they have now reduced because the expectations is to get a UAE experience, right, in that specific domain. So when it comes to the opportunities for experienced candidates, it's limited right now, because until and unless there is a specific skill set which is required and which cannot be met from within the country, then only the organizations look at experiences from the other markets.
Okay.
Africa is very different than Middle East, because in Africa there is a lot of manufacturing, right? And that's why the professionals at any age, at any level of experience, can get into the African market, because the African organizations, the organizations in African continent, will be looking at a good manufacturing experience which can be met from India. But the manufacturing sector is evolving in UAE and other Middle East countries. So therefore, depending upon that, what kind of experience is required, mostly it happens. So that's why I said that it has been mostly a freshers market. But depending upon the evolution, what happens in the country, the changes which are happening. So when the professionals are looking at the opportunities, they need to understand and be an early mover. So those who were early mover in corporate tax, they got a benefit. But those who were late in catching the bus, they couldn't catch it, because the market changed very quickly. But there are opportunities definitely for experienced candidates also. But when an organization is looking at experienced candidates from, let's say, a market in India, then people, those who are in UAE, they may not get an information about that opportunity, because those opportunities may be handled by the organizations either directly through their team in India, or through the recruitment agencies which are in India. So therefore, when professionals have to grab those opportunities, they need to be in connect with opportunities that may be posted within the market. If they will try for those opportunities which are posted here and which does need UAE experience, then it may not be successful. So that's why the candidates will not get the go on, because you are not meeting the requirements. So therefore, we have to attack the opportunity which aligns with our experience. We cannot shoot our arrow in the black hole and think that, okay, something will work out. That way it doesn't work out. So that's why sometimes professionals may have to face disappointment. So therefore, we need to apply where it aligns, where it is relevant. And there are opportunities, because many times organizations are looking to cut costs. So if they are bringing the candidates from India initially, they can bring at a cost which is lower than
So do you think it's still they can consider, like anyone who wanted is an experienced candidate from India, they can still consider an option though?
Definitely can consider, but to keep your disappointment level low, you may have to be patient, and so you patiently wait for the right kind of opportunity. Do not get tensed, overexcited, hurry up. Wait for your time to come, and attack on the opportunities by finding it out from the right source, not everything, the specific.
So is there any scams which comes up due to this job? Any recruiters may promise?
Not what recruiters may promise, but there may be some fraudsters in the market whose work is to do the scam only, right? Because there are some people who are fraudsters and who post vacancies which actually do not exist in the name of other companies. So we need to be aware of that scam. And mostly, if a problem is there, that will be a problem, because entire thing is fake. There's no job, there's no organization. The job offers I see many times candidates get are fake job offers. So, and those people may be sitting anywhere in the world. Mostly the people, those who are scamming professionals in India, may be sitting in some city in India. Those who may be scamming professionals in Pakistan may be sitting in some city in Pakistan. Right? So it may be anywhere.
So, what is the general notice period here? Because in for experienced candidates in India is generally 90 days, 3 months. So, whenever they approach any company, so the requirement, because it's immediate joinings are preferred. So, do you think that it's difficult for there, and also what is the notice period standards from here?
Yeah, notice period, is a very subjective kind of a question, because it may sometimes the candidates and organizations may be parting because they are not aligning well. So therefore, it can range anywhere from 1 to 3 months time. And every organization may have different terms. Some may have terms that if you do not give that specific notice period, then there are alternative options where things can be worked out. So it's something, very negotiable kind of a thing between an organization and a candidate. But yeah, 3 months is definitely there for most of the opportunities, but it can also, for lower level of opportunities, it can be 1 month or 2 months also for a very senior role, where the things depend upon ability. Then definitely 3 months would be there.
Okay, but do that add as a restriction of moving to another company, because the other, the candidates, they may be looking for a change, but the requisite company, they may not be able to wait for the entire 90 days, or do they actually allow that?
No, see, the organizations which are good at their systems, they understand that, okay, when they may need something, because some organizations plan for their succession in advance. So therefore, it all depends upon how organized that organization is. If the organization is organized uh, uh, and they have a 3 months period for the current candidate, then they understand it. And if they want a certain right kind of candidate, they can wait for 3 months, 6 months, even 9 months also. Because sometimes some of the processes also takes a lot of time. Some of the organizations, okay, if they have some urgency, they say that it's an immediate role and they want to fill it. But many times, as I said, if the organization is organized, they will definitely wait for it, and they may take to fill almost from 3 months to 1 year, depending upon what the role is. So therefore, alignment can happen depending upon what is the opportunity, which organization it is, how organized they are.
But considering from the company's perspective, like, okay, think they are waiting for 3 months, but what if the candidate backs out for, in couple of months? So they again have to do that here.
Yeah. This normally comes up as a problem in some roles, because a candidate may have got another better role, and and he may have an option to exit. Many times I have got complaints that candidates have backed out after the visa has been arranged, a work permit has been arranged. So it comes up a challenge to those organizations. But these may come up as a challenge mostly in the junior kind of opportunities. At the senior levels, the understanding level of the candidate, of the organization is high. And if anyone is getting into a discussion, because at the senior level, it's not an interview, it's a conversation, it's a discussion. And there, such kind of a problems may happen in a very unusual way, limited circumstances. In the junior roles, these problems come up. Largely these problems come up for the candidates moving from India or other country. Like I gave you example when many candidates were moving for corporate tax, and there was a huge competition amongst the firms to get those experienced candidates, from market in India. And at that point of time, there were multiple offers being given to candidates in India. The salary levels were different. So at that point of time, it was the highest level when I got many complaints that candidates backed out after confirming. So it all depends upon how competitive the market is at that point of time when that happens. And the things have a little bit changed in corporate banks. Now there's a fight for candidates who are experienced within the country.
Okay.
The fight was for candidates who were coming from the another country 2.5 years back, 3 years back. So the market dynamics change very quickly.
So, do organizations take any action against the one who's backing out?
Organizations do want to take it, but there's not much they can do it. It's because if a candidate has not joined you, has not come in, what action you will be able to take? Okay, you may go to the disciplinary committee of ICI and say, uh, uh, state that okay, her behavior has been, but I don't know when the judgment will come, or how much it will be given attention to. So it's not very easy to take any action on that, because it's mostly a relationship between a candidate and how well you can negotiate, with a candidate, until and unless it has become a big loss kind of a thing, or a lot of people have been already involved into it. One thing which we need to mind is that there was no beginning of relationship between a candidate, and if the situation is of the other side, that when the candidate and the organization is parting, when when a person may have already worked in that organization, then the things are different. Then the laws are here very strict on that part. So if an organization has done some injustice to the candidates, then candidates can always go and complain to the concerned ministry and get their dues and whatever it is. And because they will only be on the upper side in those scenario where you have already served. But when you have not served it, then also the candidate will be in the upper side. Organization won't be able to do much things. So the laws are mostly in the favor of an individual candidate than an organization. But sometimes some organizations may be very notorious, or a very bureaucratic field, like in India we see. So, but it also depends upon personally, how far you would like to go.
So, I wanted to understand, like you mentioned, that the market is being more mature now. So, do you think the salary has gone down as compared before? Because one, they're preferring on UAE experience. Two, they wanted a candidate with the correct skill set. So, is it that they have someone specified market rates, and then they calling someone from India, they're paying lower than that, cutting on that cost? So, has that impact on the salaries?
See, globally, if we see, the world is becoming one.
Mm.
The entire world is one global one. The COVID has changed many things. If we, so, we talk a lot about the growth that is happening in India, and there are a lot of opportunities in India. But me being here in UAE for the past 18 years, what I see is that the supply of the candidates, what is there from India or other markets to UAE, is much higher than the demand. Which didn't used to be the case, I understand, when I joined. Because when I joined here in the organization in 2007, I got a message from my organization where I joined that it was very tough for them in 2007 to get candidates from India. And I'm not sure if because of that trip, and it was a luck that I got an opportunity here. Because it was tough for organizations to get candidates in India. So we need to understand that it's all supply and demand, right? So, COVID has taught us that things can be worked in a hybrid mode, right? For those reasons also, many jobs can be transferred to India. The global capability centers are coming up in India. Lot of large organizations have been moving their entire function to India. It can be payroll, it can be purchase, so it can be anything. Banks have moved a lot of jobs to markets like India, Pakistan, Egypt. We need to understand that Because of those changes, the opportunities will be shrinking. And the other factor is that, nationalization is a major issue in most of these countries, because there are a lot of local nationals who have to come into the job market, and the opportunities have to be created for them. They are all qualified candidates. So therefore, that has also reduced the opportunities for professionals. So all, and the businesses, when they have become global, the margins for businesses have reduced, right? The challenges for businesses have come up. Like earlier, UAE used to be a market, a center point for businesses in Africa through a connect between China and Africa. Now that connect has shrunk. So therefore, when the businesses margins have come down, they have to also reduce their costs, right? When the profits are less, they have to reduce the cost, and definitely it will have an effect on the salaries. So the effect on salaries in industry has been very significant. It hasn't been there in the word of professional practice when it is about large organizations or mid-tier organizations. But another thing what has come up, a lot of small consultants have come up since the taxation has been introduced, because if earlier the organizations were not maintaining proper books of accounts, and now they are moving to that. Earlier they may be maintaining in Excel, right? So therefore, the demand for these small consultants have increased, but they may not get that kind of a pricing for their services where they are in a position to pay higher salaries. But what happens is that when a lot of freshers are coming and they do not get accommodated into large or a mid-tier firm, then in that scenario, they may take up opportunities in those small consulting firms at a lower salary, but they may start looking for another opportunity in 1 or 2 months' time. So it is entire game of supply, demand, how the business environment has been changing. And the major reason for professional firms is that a lot of professional firms have come up. Some will pay more, some will pay less. And for the industry, considering the challenges which may be with the businesses, the pressure to reduce the cost, that has come on in. But the businesses which have been very stable business, and they have been able to evolve, and a candidate, a person, an individual, a professional has been with any organization for a longer period of time, for them the things have not changed. Their salaries have not gone down. They have a trust of their employer. So and at there the salaries may have come up. So it all depends upon how stable has been your career. So that will decide that whether you are falling in a bracket of a higher salary or whether you are falling in a bracket of lower salary.
So, what exactly do you think is the salary to maintain yourself in UAE? Is there some specific bracket? Because I heard a few influencers they claiming that you should earn minimum of 15,000 to 20,000. So, do you think that this is the salary bracket of or the cost of living requisite to have a break even?
See, UAE, is a very diverse market, right? And depending upon how much one person earns, they maintain their standard of living according to that. Though the organizations, have also set up this standard you should maintain while living in a country. Uh, because that's how you will be comfortable, that's how you will be able to live well. So if you're maintaining certain standard of living, a good standard of living, and you are living with a family, then you have like school going kids, you may be the only uh, person to earn in the country, like your partner may be a homemaker. Then in that scenario, in the initial years when the child may be school going kid, then you need at least 20,000 dirhams to survive and save a little bit. Right? Earlier, when the salary levels were high, the savings were much higher. In UAE, I'm talking about 20,000 AED. Definitely, you need when you have a family, you have a kid. But as I told you, that mostly, in this market, until the taxation had come in, freshers were coming in. So when you are coming here as a fresher, your experience level is low, you will not get 20,000 salaries, right? So I came here in this market at 7,500 dirhams as a starting salary, and that level has not changed much. Like for freshers, be large and mid-tier organizations, they give anything between 7 to 10,000 dirhams. And when you come here as a fresher, you are single, right? You don't need the entire house. You don't have kids who are going to school. So therefore, and to maintain a certain standard of living, you can live well if you are alone at a 7,000 dirham salary. But as you get married, you have kids, then the things change. So therefore, and if you are coming in a good organization, in a mid-tier organization, then in a professional organization, your salary can double, triple in 2 or 3 years' time. So by the time you get married, you reach to that level. And when you get married, the proportion of women in the workforce is increasing, right? So if both are earning, and if they can support both together, then it's very good. Like if two people are earning 20,000 euros, so then in 40,000 you can live in a good house. Your kids can go to any school you want. You can also save for your future.
So, but is it necessary for anyone? I'm talking from the finance professional point of view, not the other, the sectors I would try to sit in. But from a finance professional, if I think, do you think that the opportunities in India, vis-a-vis what are opportunities in UAE or other countries, so should they think of making the step of moving offshore?
See, it all depends upon how you are getting aligned into any market, right? We haven't spoken about why I thought as of now. Maybe you may have had this question. So I thought to move from India at that point of time is when I became a chartered accountant, and I did my GMCS, which was done mostly at that point of time. Afterwards, I think now the things have changed, right? So my result came in January. In February, I did GMCS. I think in March, I attended a campus program in Delhi. So in that campus program, I didn't got an offer. Right. So I may have got an opportunity in campus to get to have a decent job, I may have not thought of, because in campuses the institute also takes care that it comes at a certain level of a salary, right? So when that doesn't happen and you go out in the market, you look for a job in a accounting firm which do not pay that well, right? Because they may not be providing services at a level that they could give that salary. So when I was living and working in an audit firm in India, I was not getting that salary that I can maintain myself. I can meet the aspiration of my parents, and my father had gone through many challenges in the businesses because our major business got closed due to pollution by Supreme Court order, right? So afterwards he faced significant challenges. So he was waiting for me to become a chartered accountant and meet the aspirations. But when he saw that I had been struggling in the Indian market, then I thought of exploring the opportunities outside. So that was the reason, I came in. So it all depends upon your personal situation, I believe, that when personally you are able to maneuver your career, you are able to find an opportunity which can maintain you. Okay, if my father would have been having a good business, and now also I think the situation in small audit firms have not changed. Initial 3 or 4 years are years of struggle you don't get, but if you are able to go through that period and you grow in that firm to a partner in, let's say, 7 or 8 years, then you can find your way, you can succeed in professional practice in India. And if you get a good opportunity in industry and you go up from there, so it all depends upon how your career is shaping up. And that's why when I said that it's a pressure market, so initially when now lot of chartered accountants are getting at it, like 2024, how many more than 30,000 passed out, right? So if the candidates haven't got the opportunities that they had been looking at India, and now the opportunities in audit firms here have been increasing because of taxation. And once you are in your initial career stage, like from fresher to 3 years time, that is a good time when you can move. So you can see how your career is shaping up. If it's not shaping up well, then you can look at other market, right? And now I had my experiences of engaging with thousands of professionals in India. What I've seen is that a lot of professionals who have been established professionals in India had been thinking of this market, because many times we feel like, okay, we can make much more money than we can make from within our home country. That can be one of the reasons. The other reason can be what it's not confirmed, but what I had been told by some professionals in industry, that many industry people, to reduce their cost, had been looking at candidates in the other countries, so that if if in industry they are paying right now 40 or 50, and if they look at a new market in Indian subcontinent and they are able to get those candidates for half of that salary, then those kind of opportunities have been coming up. So if you have an aspiration to move out and you think that, okay, you move out at a lower salary now and then find out your way, then the candidates may be looking at. But we need to understand that UAE is an expat market, right? And the professionals come here, they may look at going to Australia, UK, Canada, or if they are successful, if they have got a good opportunity, their career is rising, then the things are fine. But if you are looking at a stopgap arrangement, that, okay, let us start and then find out the way, then it can be challenging for you, because the career needs stability, right? And you need to have that vision, you need to have that goal, you need to continue the right path, not a stopgap arrangement. When I'm moving to a country which gives me a citizenship, then the things are different. Then I can look into going into a lower level of a role, like many of my friends in Australia, they tell me that when they started at a lower level, but they found out the way to grow quickly, and they came with a mindset to stay in that country for a longer period of time, to become a citizen of Australia, right? So then the things are different. When you are in the markets which are expat markets, then you need to have a long-term vision. You cannot think of a middle way and then succeed. Then the challenges can be very high at certain point in time.
But now, since the attempts have gone up, and CA Institute is offering 3 attempts for CA final, so the pool of chartered accountants, we believe, will also go up, and the jobs may not be that requisite to cater. Like you mentioned, 18 years back, while in the campus placement, it was difficult for you to get placed, and that's what make you think of this option. Do you think that everyone, because of this entire pool, and we also see, like, over LinkedIn, whenever the job is posted in minutes, there are 100 of applications comes up. So how do you think that the entire pool will be catered?
See, on this part, whether the percentage of candidates will go up. I had listened to some of the professionals, senior professionals in India, and in India, what they said that because of the increased number of attempts, if you think that the number of chartered accountants who are produced in the country will increase, they said that that may not be the case, because it's only that the opportunities are coming up. Because what I have seen when I've closely followed the results in intermediate or foundation, when it moved from 2 to 3 attempts, but I saw that the result percentage had been comparatively lower, and it is and it is also about the preparation of a student, right? So therefore, I understand that the number of chartered accountants what may get reduced in a country may be tuned to what may be required. One, I understand that the result for the past few years has been very good because a lot of opportunities in the global capability centers have come up. But the candidates, as of now, the freshers, were not that tuned to those responsibilities, to those kind of jobs, because they thought that, okay, a dump of work will come and we will not be valued, we will not be part of the team. But what I understand is that those global capability centers of the large organizations, when you are working for a US or a UK office, have also understood that. And now I understand that at most of the places, you become an integral part of the team when doing any work. So if the candidates, the professionals, freshers are ready to do those kind of jobs and they are there in the market, they get aligned to that kind of a responsibility, then I think there would be enough jobs in India to cater to the candidate to for these for the candidates, for the freshers, and also the global capability centers would be able to fill up those roles. And these roles, what I see is that in these centers are not just limited for chartered accountants. They may have different level of roles, or they may not be able to fill those roles, because I see them going for other professionally qualified people like ACCA and CPA. Students have significantly risen in India, and I see them global capability centers going to the universities and getting onto the campus and hiring candidates from there. The market, everything, when we have come into this world, the God is there to take care of us. So I think that it's important for us to understand the market, understand the reality. Like, that's the reason I think why we are doing this podcast, right? So because you think that I have experience in UAE and I may be able to share some views, so that's important, that true information goes out, we understand it, we just don't think that we have to get into certain market. We understand the reality, we understand our situation, and accordingly we work hard on it.
So, just like as you mentioned about the global capability centers, also the people who are already working here. So, do you think that only a CA degree would suffice and they would not require any other qualification? Like, if a person is a chartered accountant, they will not require ACCA qualification or CPA from US.
No, I don't think so. That is because I said no, that they are employing ACCAs in India, they are employing CPAs, they are employing graduates. And other thing, what we understand, the way the technology has been coming into every business we are doing. So we also need to understand that when it comes to advisory work in these large firms, much of the work is related to technology, to digital transformation. And there are now thousands of engineers who are employed in the large accounting networks. There are so many lawyers who are involved in the large accounting networks. So we have to be prepared and understand that, because when it comes to giving advisory to the industry, which has connections with manufacturing, oil and gas, then we need to have that kind of understanding. We need to have that kind of experience. So that's why large accounting networks not only employ Indian chartered accountants, I go much further. Other professional bodies from the accounting field and also other streams, science, maybe even medical. From the medical line, it's not only doctors, because genetics, the way it has been changing, so it will be everyone will get opportunity in different industries. So we need to have understanding of the market, and the organizations know that what kind of a talent pool they need, and they accordingly align.
So, let's say, one of the GCC I know in India, they have a mandate because they have most of the US clientele, and they have a mandate that if at a certain designation, you should be not only CA in India, it should be CPA US, because the clientele allocated was they have a preference of CPA. So I'm saying that it is a mandate for an Indian CA to also pursue some other degree beside having a CA degree for having this GCCA or anywhere to apply outside India.
See, it all depends upon how mature the market is of that country, or what kind of education levels are there in that country, right? So, if I have to move to, let's say, Canada, if I have to move to US, if I have to move to Australia, so they have a professional qualification, which is a very well established professional qualification. If you look globally, we are 190 to 200 countries, right? But if you look very closely at developed accounting bodies, fully developed accounting bodies in the world, I cannot count more than 30 countries which have fully developed accounting bodies. So there are many countries in Europe, they have alternative education. England is different, but there are many countries who do not have a education system of a professionally qualified accountants. Their education system is like a hybrid mix kind of a thing, which starts from university and then move to a professional kind of experience. So it all depends upon which market you intend to go into. So when you said that many US clients, they need USC period, because see, if you say that you are a part of the team, as we talked about how the global capability centers are evolving in India, then the expectations on the education level will also go up. I used to hear that earlier, when many people used to work in the call centers kind of a work in India, their names used to be different. Like, it used to be an Indian name. They used to get a name which is a John or a Thomas, so that it aligns with that market, right? And they were trained for their accent also, because they can understand that accent and they can speak in that accent, right? So depending upon what kind of a responsibility you have, it will need. So in GCC, no, we do not have fully developed accounting bodies here. So therefore, the other accounting bodies, they get equal opportunities as of now.
So we spoke that there are a lot of finance professionals which seek opportunity outside their country. So I'm not talking about India, but Asia at large, because we see from India, from Pakistan, from Bangladesh, everyone tries to move out of the country. So do you think it's wise option to choose for Middle East, to go for Middle East because it's like middle from Europe, from India, everywhere, or to look on the opportunities in US, Europe? What is the preferred market as per you?
See, one thing is that Middle East is said to be the gateway for another countries. What happens is that if my ultimate aim is to work, let's say, in US or Canada or European country or Australia, then to go directly to those countries may not be much easier. Like, as I understand, in the US market, there are, if we look into the past 10 or 15 years, those who have got opportunities in US, they have taken a qualification route, that they go and take admission in any MBA or a similar qualification, and then find out a way to live in US, right? Or either they have been transferred within the organization, like sometimes Big Four, and within Big Four, you get opportunities to move. Like tech for technology, it's much easier because all Indian large technology companies have their offices. So people, those who have worked in TCS, Wipro, Infosys, they have got opportunity to move to US easily, and they have lived there. But for chartered accountants, those opportunities are limited, right? So if your ultimate goal is to live in those countries, then you cannot take that expensive route of an education, then moving to UAE, and then finding a way out, having the savings, and moving to countries which have a favorable immigration policies, because it all depends upon how many professionals they need, like in between Canada and Australia had. So US had been very different market, but so I have seen here people who come here and look at moving to Canada or moving to Australia. So it all depends upon what's your vision, what's your aim, what's your goal, right? And sometimes some of the professionals may move to Canada or Australia just to get a passport, and then they come back if they don't align with that kind of a setup. Right? Many people I know many years back, they went to Canada and they were not able to bear that cold. So then they became a Canadian citizen and then came back to UAE, right? So it all depends. Like when I moved out from India, I had moved out that there may be only two places for me to live. Either it's Dubai or either it's India. All right. I had gone inspired to look at Dubai because at that point of time in a printed newspaper in MXN, there were a lot of opportunities which used to be coming in that, which I used to see. So I had got an understanding, a feel of Dubai even when I was qualifying. So then I thought that if India is not a place which gives me that opportunity, then the alternate market for me. So I had a look at it. Fortunately, I got opportunity and I've survived for 18 years, right? So it all depends upon, and sometimes some people ask that why you didn't move to Canada, right? Because many people see that a lot of Sikhs move to Canada. Yeah, but but people don't know that within a religion there are different communities, right? So I come from a Aurora community which doesn't normally move to Canada. Mostly Sikhs from Punjab who are Jat Sikhs who have been farmers, they move to Canada. Now the things are different, everyone is moving, so I don't want to be that far from my home. Though I lost my father 6 months back, my mother is there. That is, and for some reason I couldn't reach on time in spite of being in Dubai. Sometimes some of your personal circumstances can be like that. But most of the people, those who want to be close to their parents and shuttle between the country easily, they normally prefer Middle East market, and those who have decided that they have to live far off and become a citizen of that country, then they look at those countries which have a favorable immigration policies, and it's much easier to move.
So it is not just a stepping stone, is actually you can probably live in here and you can have the accommodation, and even the Hindi is being way too popular, I believe, rather than English. I mean the preference, because everyone there, the common population is speaking, so even in language fight is much comfortable.
So what happens is that if you are in that environment where there are a lot of people, and both two individuals cannot speak the same language, right? Which can be a common English is a business language, but the person you are engaging with cannot speak that well in English, then Hindi comes as a common language. So that's how. But mostly in the schools, in the offices, as people come from diverse backgrounds, then it's English only. But if you are getting involved with people, those who may not understand English, then Hindi can also come as alternating. So it's easier. Dubai is very close to India. There are a lot of 80% of population here is expats, right? And in Dubai, and there are more than 30% who are Indians, and maybe more than 50% are from Indian subcontinent when we add people from Nepal, from Sri Lanka, from Pakistan, right? So that's how sometimes Hindi becomes as a common language, right? Because Hindi, Urdu, Punjabi, they have very similar dialects, right?
Yeah, so I mean, just an incident while I was coming out of my flight, boarding this train, and there was a Arabic guy I could make out, and he was just trying to help me. He was like, "Jaldi karo,"
Yeah,
and even it's the Hindi dialects. It's like, wait,
yeah.
a comma.
So those are very common words. Like, if I had to learn Arabic, I tried. So I was given around 30 words which I should. So though if I don't get opportunity to speak that often, or I don't make effort to speak, and then I will forget, right? So that's why in Hindi, those may be limited words. Bollywood here was very popular, right? Earlier, Amitabh Bachchan is very popular. Shah Rukh Khan is very popular. So a lot of Arabs, they loved Indian cinema. So that's how words get catch up. If you will go to some of the malls, on the entry gates, like in Burjuman, which is close to my house, there I see very permanently some of the Hindi words, English words, Urdu words, maybe sometimes even in Punjabi. So they are written. So once you see those and once you hear them in cinema, and so that's how like a lot of Africans I meet, they like many of the people in security, in guards, they I meet from Africa, so they can also speak Hindi, some words, but it may not be that we cannot take it that they understand the language completely. It may be just limited to certain words, right? And depending upon with whom they are living, how much they are learning from the other person.
So, we spoke about how the opportunities are coming, how the professionals are ready. So, do you think that post AI era, now this AI automation, and most of the fresher, they're afraid that their jobs may be lost. So, how will that have an impact?
See, we have been talking about the impact of technology for a very long time, right? The world, the countries are controlled by whom? By human beings, right? So, as we as human beings, how the countries allow the things to change. In fact, you're talking about AI. I had a meeting about AI only with just a few minutes back, and I jokingly said that someone said that a person from a technology background, he said that the things are changing very fast when it is about AI, right? And uh, uh, the amount of work which they had to do earlier and the amount of work which they have to do now is very different. So definitely it is having an impact. And I jokingly said that it's because technologists wants that the working days are 2 and the weekend is 5. So when I believe that we are human beings, there's a governance structure, there are governments, the roles are evolving, right? A chartered accountant role has evolved from being an accountant to a strategist person. The business acumen has become important. The critical thinking skills have become important. Our communication level should be good. Until 3 years back, we were talking about learning coding. Coding everyone has to learn, but now the things have changed so fast that we are so quickly saying that we don't need to learn coding. So we need to be adapted. We need to understand how the things are changing. Many times people are saying that, okay, if we study English, we study analytical skills, that can make a difference, content, communication. So these both technical and non-technical skills are important. We need to balance between those, and we need to be aware. So if the roles are changing, if we are adapted to new skills, then everyone will have work. So these impact would be there, but ultimately everyone will find a way out to live a good life.
So, you mentioned about post COVID, there are a lot of things which undergone changes. So, how do you think that because now there's an outburst of global capability centers, the companies are preferring to be in go for an outsourcing model.
Mm.
So, will still be a viable option for finance professionals to think that they can again think of traveling to another country, or they can probably prefer into looking for the jobs in there remotely in GCC or any such model.
There would be, definitely opportunities like this, right? And if we look at the immigration policies of different countries or how they have put their structure, they have put it depending upon what kind of a professionals they need in a country at what point of time they need. And the policies have changed accordingly, right? It all boils down again to being aware of the opportunities and what is the right time to take opportunities. And the movement of people from one country to another is natural. Even in India, we have, a lot of people who have moved from Australia, Europe, or US because they are working in companies from US, they're working in companies from Australia, they're working in companies from Europe, which have offices in India, right? So therefore, this is natural that the movement will happen. So when it comes to the professionals, it is first it is to see that what we want to achieve in our life, what is our goal in our life, what we think may be good for us, and then aligning it to the global reality. So therefore, opportunities will always be there if I want to live in India or if I want to live in Dubai. It all depends upon what kind of opportunities I can get. Normally, when professionals have to move back to India, they face a lot of difficulties because they may not be able to set up business, they may not be able to gel in that environment, they may not be able to manage with the challenges of poor infrastructure, right? And they may not be able to get remuneration what they may be expecting because if they may be working at a very higher salary, right? So many times, within when I had been employed with the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, with many leaders, as I was looking after 32 cities in Middle East and Africa, so many times with the leaders we used to discuss that if some people have lost their job and they have to urgently go back to India, and how they can be aligned into that market. So what I would say, the bigger challenge, definitely professionals. UAE market is expanding. The GCC market, there are a lot of opportunities coming up everywhere in the world, and professionals should look at them, but in a more realistic way. At what time, and what are the opportunities at that point of time? The bigger challenge I see is that when the professionals do not are not earning here and when they have to go back to India and find out a way, it's much difficult, for which I think the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India should take certain steps. Though the numbers may be very low and it hasn't caught that attention of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, but I think that if the scenarios keep on changing very fast and the professionals do not align to the requirements here or they are not able to earn as their families are growing, then the shift will happen back into the home country, and that challenge has to be taken up and see that, because when we are professionals, it's our responsibility that all our professional brothers and sisters at whatever age they are, they have a good standard of living, they are able to earn respectfully. What I believe is that the challenges which our professionals face are not new. Okay, these technology challenges are coming up, but there are certain challenges which have exist from decades, and the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India has huge pool of resources which can be utilized to research and see that how we can make the lives of our members better, and which is I throw upon the leadership of ICI to look into that and to see how they can work on it and have a broader vision, not just doing events and attending and having that same kind of a structure, to think innovatively, to think differently, to think for the betterment of professionals, because all are your own daughter and son. You are your own members and students. And if we can do it, if we have that command, if we have that resources, and if it can be done, then we should see that how it can be done, how we can make the lives of our members and students better. And it's the most important thing what the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India should look at, because then only you will be able to compete with ACC and CPA, which are very significantly expanding into the Indian market, right?
So, any message, anything like a recommendation to CA students, CA professionals, anything would you like to?
For CA students, one recommendation I want to give is that, when it is a time of a study, to focus on studies, because if you lose that time, now the institute has changed the structure significantly. The articleship period has reduced to 2 years. The exam period is different. The training period is different. There are gaps in between. So students need to plan properly. Plan in such a way that you qualify within that time, or maximum, let's say, 6 months. Because if you get a pressure at home to get into the work field, and then simultaneously manage studies, which would be very difficult. So if the results of students are low, the major reason is that because we are not fully prepared. We haven't studied our subjects for 2-3 times minimum, which is required, and have then revised properly. So therefore, the message to students is to be careful during the study and do not lose that time, because if you lose that time and then you have to come back with many more challenges, then the challenges will keep on increasing, will keep on piling. Do not allow them to come heavy on you, right? And for the members, professionals, members, it's have an understanding of that. I am connected to more than 30,000 professionals on LinkedIn, right? And they are on WhatsApp, and I'm sharing opportunities. But many times the professionals have expectations that I refer them, which is not humanly possible. Also, the organizations will not entertain me. See, when it comes to references, okay, we say that many times it's a network market, it's a references market. But now one individual can reach to another individual very easily, right? Because there's a social media, you are connected to so many people. But who will refer you? See, one thing is that if some organizations have a mandate to recruit, okay, then they will see within their network that who are those people, and then they may reach out to them, right? Or if a person knows, if I know someone who has studied, who has been my junior in school, is my relative, or I have been connected to him, I know that what kind of capabilities that individual has, then there is a possibility that I may refer that 1 or 2 people, right? I cannot refer 30,000 people, so I do not refer even my relatives. I do not refer anywhere. So therefore, my message is to understand, to the members and professionals, to understand what is the reality, and understand other person's point of view only. So and though I'm thankful that professionals appreciate the work which I have been trying to do, but I would say that they also understand that what is a reference actually, because many times we don't understand the meaning of reference. We don't understand the meaning of network. So we should work on researching, on bringing up our level of understanding, and having a broader kind of a vision, which and now with ample of resources available at our disposal, many times we don't put efforts to find things. We need to go inside, and there are ample of resources available. Use that resources to find out things, then putting a question directly to someone or having an unrealistic expectation.
Great. So that was the end of it, and thank you so much. I mean, it's been a while that I have taken out your time, but I'm thankful to you from the entire population who's actually listening to you, and thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.